Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome on into another episode as he pours his garage beer, supporting the Travis Kelce's of the world and the Jason Kelce's of the world. This is the factory of mock drafts. I'm Brian Phillos, my co-host Matt. Happy hump day, as my good friend Mike Voorhees would say. How are we doing today, bud?
Oh, I'm doing great. Can't complain. It's finally warm enough. I can move out into the garage. I don't have to do this in my basement anymore.
That it is pretty nice, huh? It's nice for now, but I hear there's more snow coming.
Yeah, what is it? Tomorrow night into Friday, we're supposed to drop down to about 26 and get some snow.
Can't wait. Can't wait. And I see that the stream is not working on Twitter again. So
Great.
I'm not sure what we're doing different there, but maybe you click around with that. Anyways, we'll be talking as usual, a lot of Browns. Obviously, we know there's been a lot that's been happening over the last week with the Browns, especially we've seen with the Ravens, their trade or not so much trade. And then the Browns signed a lot of free agents, which is obviously going to have a huge impact on the draft. And I think me and Matt have talked about it. Probably going to have a huge impact on possibly trading down. We'll dive into that. And yeah, just a lot going on right now. It's been a crazy couple days. And Matt, where do you want to dive in first? What would you like to start with?
Well, why don't we start about who we've signed so far?
Love it. All right. What do you got?
Obviously, Andrew Berry decided to go hardcore into this offensive line. Of the ones that we have signed, who do you think is your favorite of the choices that we've picked so far?
I mean, I think my favorite is probably Jenkins, who of the Packers. I don't think he'll actually play center for us. I think he'll probably play left guard if I had to guess. But I think I'm most excited about him. How about you?
Sorry, I was trying to get this stream to work on X2 at the same time. I was hoping you'd talk a little longer. He's probably my favorite. From what I've been reading on him, he was a hell of a lot better when he played guard than he was center. I mean, he was still a good center, but he was playing that guard position a lot better. I'm not against drafting a center early. When I say early, I'm talking third, fourth round, whatever it may be. Because if we move him to left guard, we draft somebody to play right guard. All we need, other than the center, all we need is a left tackle. Which I don't know what your opinion on it. I'm leaning towards that Monroe Freeling choice.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously it depends on how it all works out, right? But we won't know that until we're there. But yeah, I think Monroe Freeling would fit in nicely. Obviously, right now, if Jenkins doesn't play center, might be kind of a question mark, right? We don't know. But I mean, let's kind of recap. So we got the right tackle. Well, that's why they signed Titus Howard, or that's why they traded for Titus Howard, Patty. A huge hole, fills a huge hole. Okay, well, that's the most important for Fatty, I guess, is the right tackle position. Is that more important than left tackle?
Depends which arm your quarterback throws with.
Oh. You say there's a chance that Dylan Gabriel is going to be again?
Just saying.
No.
Never know with these guys.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Anything is better than Conklin. I don't think you'll find any disagreement here. Yeah, no. So to review in full, we had traded for Titus Howard. Typically right tackle. He did move around on the Houston Texans offensive line last year. They put a tender on Ronnie Hickman. We saw that we lost Devin Bush, linebacker, who had an outstanding year to the Bears. Fatty wants to talk about Jed Wills, who was a free agent after taking a year off or whatever. I mean, it's not like he played all that hard when he was here. He also signed with the Bears. I say good riddance. He didn't really try all that hard anyway. Um, after that, we had Quincy Williams, linebacker from the Jets, who we signed to our team. Then we just mentioned him, Jenkins, former center for the Packers. We have re-signed guard Tevin Jenkins, who did not do well last year, but then we signed guard Zion Johnson from the Chargers. I've heard a mixed view on him. Some people saying that he's great. Some people are saying that he's young and going to get better under George Warhop. And some people saying that he's terrible at run blocking and that it was kind of a wasted trade for the amount of money, or a wasted pickup for the amount of money that we spent on him. And then we signed tight end Jack Stahl, more of a blocking tight end from the New Orleans Saints, not a pass catching tight end. I think the most yards he's put up is 123. So, Matt, anything else? Any of those that surprised you, I guess?
Not really that surprised me, but I do want to touch on the Zion thing real quick. A lot of people are freaking out over that. I've done some research on him after we picked him up. As you know, last year, the Chargers offensive line, which is why in most of our mock drafts, we're going offensive line for them, they were destroyed. He was the only offensive lineman that actually played every game. He played a little over 1,000 snaps on the offensive side of the ball last year. And I think they went through, if my notes, let me see, they went through 5 starting tackles last year. And I think that had a lot to do with his little downfall he had last year compared to the year before. But he still only, I mean, he allowed 3 sacks and 26 pressures last year. I'm going to say that's a big improvement from what we had. I mean, anything's an improvement from what we had, but I'm going
to say low bar.
I'm praying to God that all the injuries they had on the line last year was the inconsistency they had was his reasoning for having a little down year. Not to mention their running backs kept getting hurt out there in San Diego last year. So they went through 3 running backs. They got the injury bug.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully he can be more consistent. And, our buddy Mac, he's really high on George Warhop, and we're going to see if he's worth his salt right away, right? It's a whole new set of offensive linemen, no matter which way you slice it. You can't have much faith in DeJuan Jones.
No, and with us signing so many, and we're obviously going to be picking some up in the draft also, it gives Jones that chance to actually get healthy and not come back early, because he's going to obviously be filling in from time to time because these guys aren't going to play every snap. We're going to have injuries like always. But if he can actually sit down and relax and rest and come back fully healthy, I think that's going to be a great improvement for him. And with what we've added so far in free agency, not to mention what's going to come in the draft, we're not going to be moving him around on the line as much either, which will help him get consistent with one position.
Yeah, for sure. What about the tight end or the linebacker? I mean, are you, especially, I guess let's focus on linebacker first. So Quincy Williams, I mean, coming out of the draft, everybody was high on him. I guess everybody was high on Devin Bush too, but it took him a lot longer to get there. Quincy Williams, are you excited about him? Are you sad to see Devin Bush go? Do you think that there's going to be a fall off there?
I am sad to see Devin Bush go. I think for what he was paid, we could have matched that. And not taking that big of a hit on our cap space from what we've already added. But Quincy Williams did play with Ruttenberg out there in New Jersey, New York, whatever you want to call it. Last year, I think he was hurt. He had a shoulder injury last year, I believe. He missed the middle section of the season. I think he only played like 12 or 13 games. He still had 3.5 sacks, almost 100 tackles, I think. So for only playing 13 games, I think that's pretty good. Hopefully he comes into the system healthy. I hope he clicks right away, and I'm hoping that his stats from last year improve. Obviously, I want him to play all 17 games.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, hopefully. And, like I said, I was excited about him coming out of college, so I imagine that he can do pretty good. Fatty wants to know if you have 2 Jenkins, is that enough Jenkins? I say that's not enough. Not enough Jenkins. Let's get more Jenkins in here.
There was I thought for about 6 seconds they were brothers because there's a parody account out there that
I think they are.
popped. No, they're not.
Oh, no? Oh.
No, it was all over Twitter that they were because this parody account announced it as soon as he got picked up. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. We got brothers on the offensive line, and I believed it. And then next thing you know, I found out they weren't.
I saw people posting on there that they were, they're like, oh, this is such a great story. I'm like, really, like, the amount of things that we need help with, who cares? I'm so sick of these, like, goofy storylines. Oh, my God, he's from Cleveland, or he grew up in Cleveland. Nobody cares, dude. Like, how good is he as a player? Like, I don't care if he's playing with his brother or not. Same thing with Jordan Tyson. I mean, I've said it as a reason why I like Jordan Tyson, but, like, come on, dude. It doesn't matter. None of that is going to make him play good or not play good, right? So, I think it's hilarious. But, yeah, I guess that was a misinformation there.
Yeah, it came up on a parody account.
Okay.
So.
Okay. That makes more sense. So what about the Ravens? The Ravens shenanigans. What do you have to say about the Ravens at this point? For those that maybe have been living under a rock for the last couple days, the Ravens came to an agreement with the Raiders to give 2 first-round picks this year, 2026, and next year, 2027, for Max Crosby, who was already in contract for, I don't know, $65 million the next couple of years, which they probably would have had to restructure him or extend him at some point. And then instead, of holding to the deal, they had some kind of agreement. Then he comes out to Baltimore 3-4 days after the trade was made official. By official, I don't know what that means in the background, but the trade was made, and then they basically said once he got to Baltimore, no, we're not taking them. They blamed it on the medical, supposedly, and then less than 24 hours later, they are signing Trey Hendrickson at a lower price and giving up no picks.
So I was watching. They did a press conference today. The Ravens did, and they were saying their plan the whole time was to sign both of them.
Yeah, right. That sounds like a really good PR stunt.
So I'm torn on this one, how I feel. I hate the Ravens.
Okay.
So I think it's shady what happened.
Oh.
But then again, that physical is in there that if something happens on the physical and they don't like it, they can cancel the trade. So there's no punishment that's going to be coming down. It just sucks for the Raiders because they signed 6 people? They spent $333 million in free agency on Monday. And are they going to have enough money if they don't deal them somewhere else now? And if they do trade him somewhere else, is he worth 2 first rounders now?
Well, and think of the implications, right? So you've got the domino effect, so to speak, right? Like, it's like, if the Ravens didn't pick him up, who would have given 2 first-round picks to get him? What would his trade value be? Would all these other moves have happened, right? Would the Raiders have made all those moves? Probably not, right? Like, Casey's not complaining they can keep him.
Do you see the meme going around that it's Joe Burrow dressed up like a doctor, and it says the doctor that failed his physical?
I have seen that. I thought it was pretty funny, but then he's just going up against Trey Hendrickson instead. I don't know. I think there's going to be no teams that are going to be doing deals with the Ravens anytime soon. I think that was some of the shadiest stuff. People were going back to 2018 when they did it with that wide receiver. They brought him in. They were agreed to sign him. He was gonna sign, and then somebody else, Crabtree or somebody, was at a lower rate. They saw they could get him, so they canceled this dude's $30 million deal. And then, it's like, dude, the domino effects that happen to this thing and these players. I mean, I know we treat them like mercenaries, but I think something's got to be done. Like, I don't think that's right. I mean, imagine if it was the Browns that were the Ravens, right? Let's say that we made a trade with the Eagles for three first round picks. If it was the Browns, the NFL would have effed them. Probably. Like, and oh, by the way, like, what's the statute of limitations on like going back on the trade? Can we cancel the Deshaun Watson trade?
He's injured.
Is it too late?
He failed a physical.
I mean, I guess maybe I need to do more research and find out what the rules are or whatever. But I just think that this has so highly impacted the entire free agency market and the whole trade market this year that I think the NFL has to come up with some kind of rule. And, like, by the way, dude, this dude was injured. They knew he was injured. They knew he had a surgery, and, like, everything's gone smooth in his recovery so far. So it's not
he just got off crutches 6 days ago.
Yeah, and he's doing like
he's not going to be he's not going to be 100%. You can't tell me something in that physical came back that bad if he's able to be playing basketball like he is.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it clearly, like, they're going to blame it on that, and they're going to, like, lie till they die, right? It's going to the grave with them. But it's just a shady thing. It's just like when the fax machine somehow didn't work when we were trying to trade for AJ McCarron. I mean, come on, like, give me a break. 2016, the fax machine isn't working. That's what held up the trade. I mean, as a Browns fan, I was happy it didn't go through, but it's just wild behavior, in my opinion. Just wild behavior. And you cannot convince me that was not a shady move on purpose.
Oh, it was a shady move. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to throw that up there. Yeah, I hit the wrong button. Yeah, I hope something happened because this is a slippery slope.
Exactly.
Because teams are going to start making these trades. I mean, if anything, they need to move the time frame down. They need to start being able to sign the players a week prior to free agency or to week. They should be able to do the physicals a week prior to actual free agency start, is what I'm trying to say.
Or I also heard this, like, what if they just put a timeline on the physical, right? Hey, you have to get this physical done within 12 hours or whatever. I don't know what the reasonable amount of time is, but, like, you can't wait 3 days and then be like, oh, by the way, now that the free agent market is calmed down, like, we'll go ahead and give you that back.
All right.
I think they got to do something. I think that's just shady business. If the Browns were trading getting 3 first round picks for Myles Garrett from the Eagles next year, and 3 days into the trade, 3 days into free agency, the Eagles were like, nah, Myles has that thing in his shoulder, like, can't. I would be flipping cars. Like, this is crazy.
Like he did to get the shoulder injury.
Exactly. I don't know that I could drive that fast in Medina, but Fatty said that the fax machine breaking, that was Jesus working for you. That was actually, I believe, was it Sashi Brown at the time?
I think so. I mean, you gotta admit, fax machine's kind of ancient technology, so maybe it wasn't working.
I mean, I'm sure the fax machine wasn't working, but did that actually have anything to do with holding up the trade? Oh, we both clicked it at the same time. Barry doing a hell of a job, but he still needs to call Sloshed and me. Is that Mike? I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's Big Mike. He the standing joke between me and him are that we should be the co-GMs for the Cleveland Browns draft.
I don't know. I heard Mike on the show today said he didn't want love. Can't believe this.
We can agree to disagree on some things. We'll work it out. We're civil.
You're gonna be in the war room together. You guys gonna be in the war room when we do the epic draft?
Hey, why not? Tell Mike to drive up. Come on up from Cincinnati. Come to the motherland, and we'll do the mock draft together.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no. I mean, I think the other funny thing I was seeing, some people are now like, I don't know what this new term is, but I'm gonna go ahead and try and use it. They're glazing Andrew Berry. I'm like, dude, what? Yes, he's been great. It seems since the 2025 draft, in my opinion. Prior to that, may make an appearance for the draft. All right, there we go. So in my opinion, it's like the dude has been doing great since the 2025 draft. Prior to that, you can look at the record of what he brought in here. There's a reason that we need 5 new offensive linemen. Since DePodesta left, I agree.
That's huge.
I know. I agree, and I'm hoping that that's what the real problem was, but we don't know that for sure. Like there's a reason that we needed to replace 5 offensive linemen, and I mean, as much as DePodesta probably had influence, like was he making all the picks? I can't imagine that. Was he picking all the offensive linemen only, and then I don't know.
Nobody will ever know.
So nobody will ever know. It just I don't believe that you would hire a GM and then be like you have absolutely zero power. But it is the Browns.
It is Uncle Jerry.
It's not.
Or Jimmy. Sorry, not Jerry. I got something just popped up that the what's his name Jerry was trying to reach out for the Cowboys for Max Crosby.
Oh, I'm sure he is. The price has gone down. Why wouldn't you? I mean, Andrew Berry should be calling, hey, man, we'll give you a 2nd-round pick for that guy. All 31 teams, 30 teams aside from the Ravens should be making those calls right now.
The Ravens should be banned from making trades for the rest of the year.
Well, that's what I say, dude. Who's going to want to work with them now? Like, who's going to want to work with a team that does that?
I mean, it's going to be like the Browns after the Deshaun Watson deal.
Yeah,
we got blacklisted for what, 6 months? Nobody talked to us.
Does anybody talk to us now?
Jacksonville.
Yeah. But I mean, aside from that, the Ravens, I mean, they lose their. I saw this whole list of players that they've lost so far. And the meme actually had Max Crosby on there too. But Isaiah Likely, Charlie Kolar, Tyler Linderbaum, Pat Ricard, A.D. Washington, Jake Hummel, Alohi Gilman, Draymond Jones, Jordan Stewart. Like they lost all those players, and so far all they've added is Josh Simpson, and well, now we know Trey Hendrickson. But just seems like a wild year for the Ravens. And oh, by the way, didn't the GM say like last year that we don't build in free agency? I don't even pay attention to free agency. Something silly like that.
I can't stand them. I'll make a trade with the Steelers before I would even talk to them.
Well, I don't think that's probably ever happening, but we'll see.
Not wrong.
All right. Well, do you want to dive into our little 7-round mock draft that we did while we're talking Browns?
Sure, why not?
Dive back into Browns. So we both did we challenged each other to do a mock draft for the 7 rounds of the Browns picks. We are going to be part of the whole network 216 is going to be part of an epic mock draft coming up the 2nd week of April, the 9th, 10th, and 11th. So we'll be part of our war room. Sorry, we'll also be having guests joining us. So that'll all be virtual, but something exciting that we're going to have to draft all 7 rounds for the Browns. And I was telling Matt and Jared, I was like, man, I haven't even really done too much deep of research past the second round at this point. So we challenged each other to dive a little deeper and to go into that. So Matt, you want to talk about your mock first here?
Sure. Let's position ourselves here. Sorry, I'm trying to make it big enough so I can read it even with my glasses.
Is that good?
Yeah. So, obviously we got the 6th pick. I'm a firm believer if Tate's not there, we trade down not far, but we trade down and try and build some draft capital in the top third of the draft, hoping that Monroe Freeling is still available at that pick. Because obviously our number one hole in the line right now is left tackle, and it's either him or Lomo. So one of those two will be available I would say I wouldn't want to go past like 12 if we got rid of the 6th pick. But
Sure.
When I did this mock draft, obviously Carnell Tate was available, so it's really hard to pass up on a stud, true number one wide receiver, especially out of the Ohio State University. One of the last Brian Hartline bloodlines that are going to be entering the NFL from Ohio State for a while. I think adding somebody like Carnell Tate to our offense will definitely open up the field for whatever quarterback is out there at the time, because as of now, it sounds like it's going to be another year of competition for our starting quarterback. Moving on from that pick, I went with Caleb Lomu with the 24th pick. We need a left tackle in the worst way. He's played the last 2 years at Utah. He started his freshman year, he redshirted. Then his sophomore and junior year, he was the starting left tackle, played every game. He has allowed 0 sacks through 2 years of play as starting left tackle for Utah, which is unbelievable in my opinion. I think he shores up that line with our additional free agencies. Obviously, we're later in the draft. I'm going to be targeting some other offensive linemen, not only for depth, but who knows if some of these lower people that we've signed or re-signed are going to actually play it out. Then I had a surprise one at 39. Colton Hood from Tennessee, the cornerback, was still available, and I couldn't pass on him.
I wouldn't be able to either, but no way that's happening.
No, but in this mock draft, he was available. He slipped out of the first round. He's a big, fast, aggressive cornerback, which is what we need. He has a penalty problem, which could be troublesome for us in the long run. Obviously, he wouldn't be a starter right away, but he could play his way in. Who knows where else we put him. And then after that, I picked up another lineman. I went with Sam Hetch out of Kansas State. He's played both center and guard, so that'll be a good addition for us. Not only if I guess he's a natural guard, but can play center,
okay,
which is great for us for not only depth, but who knows, he might beat out some of these other players and actually be a starter for us. Obviously, we need depth because we are constantly getting injuries on the offensive line. It's never failing, and it doesn't look like what's his name's coming back, because I think his expiration date was last night at midnight. Yeah. And then I picked up another wide receiver at 107, Bryce Lance, who is the brother of Trey Lance.
Hopefully a better NFL career if he's with the Browns.
Hopefully. Let's see here. Last year, he had 1,079 yards, 8 receiving touchdowns, but he also added 100 rushing yards and 8 rushing touchdowns, which just shows off his athleticism. He ran a 4.340, and he's 6'3", 200 pounds. So he's not this and that was the combine measurement. That isn't what his school's putting out there. He is from North Dakota State, which is a smaller school. He didn't play against as much competition, but size don't lie, in my opinion, with wide receivers. And with somebody with that speed, can we put him in the return game? I mean, I just feel like adding a wide receiver with that size and speed is only going to help us. Hopefully he catches the ball like he did in college.
Mm.
The next one I picked up, which is somebody I actually been watching a lot since Ohio State played Indiana, is this Lewis Moore. He led the college football in interceptions last year. He had 6 total interceptions. He had 90 total tackles and 2.5. He had 2.5 tackles for loss and 1 sack, which as a safeties, especially the depth we need at not only safety, but across our defense in general because of injuries and stuff that happen. I think that'll be a great add-on. And then you go another Indiana player. Why not take from the best defensive team in the NCAA last year? He had 95 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. And he has big game time experience. I mean, he played in the national championship game. He played through the college playoff. He's played good teams. I think that will be a great addition. It'll definitely take some slack off Quincy Williams. We won't have to worry about that slack off if he's not having to worry about playing every down. I think it'll be a good pickup. I pick a lot of the 7-round mock drafts I do for Cleveland. I pick them up. I kind of hawk them out because I'm a fan of them. I like this college play. I'm hoping that it continues on into the NFL. Next one is kind of a no-name person. Well, not really no-name, but at 206, I picked up Nadame Tucker. He had 14.5 sacks last year in college.
Okay.
If you're going to give me the chance in the 6th round to pick up somebody that can produce sacks like that and get to the quarterback, we always need edge help. Obviously, can give Miles a break. It can give our other side of the line a break. It's going to help our players not be exhausted. And like I said, I think it was the first show I ever did with you, the Rust Belt rivalry. I said the biggest thing that our defense needs is an offense that actually stays on the field. So I picked up another wide receiver. This guy's a local boy out of John Carroll. And I think this would be our answer to our returner problem. He had at least 5 catches in all 13 games he played last year. He had 119 receptions for 1,528 yards and 15 touchdowns. He is fast. He can catch the ball, obviously. And his athleticism, I think, during the combine was ranked at 99. If we can get somebody like that in, I mean, even if we just pick him up for the return game, I don't care if he even sees the field as a wide receiver. That is, I mean, our special teams was our biggest weakness last year. And I think if we can get somebody like that on there, I had a hard time passing him up. A couple weeks ago, I was on Big Mike's show, Man Cave. We did a 7-round mock draft for the Browns, and we were looking for him with the 7th round pick. And he actually went in the 6th round in that mock draft to the San Francisco 49ers, but I was surprised to see him here. I couldn't pass on him.
Okay. Yeah. Big Mike says he loves Montgomery. I was curious, how many John Carroll kids have ever made it to the NFL? Do you know by chance?
I'm not sure.
I can't say that I've ever heard of anybody from John Carroll being in the NFL, but I haven't paid that close of attention either.
I'm going to have to, my brother-in-law played football for them. So I'm going to have to ask him. He went to school down there at St. Thomas Aquinas, the big high school down there in Miami.
Yeah.
So he went from that to small John Carroll. So I'm going to have to ask him who, if anybody from his college years made it to the NFL. I know his high school years they did, but we'll have to see.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Overall, I really like the top 3. I mean, if we could somehow get Colton Hood at pick 39, that would be a steal, I think. The smaller school players kind of make me a little nervous, but, obviously, especially towards the end there, I mean, I really hope that we're not picking in the 7th round and we're just, I don't think we could have, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 rookies on top of undrafted free agents, on top of all the rookies that we added last year. So there's just not enough room on the roster for all that. So hopefully they make some trade downs or move up for next year instead of picking all these players. But
I foresee I could see at least 3 of these draft picks going out in trades.
yeah, that would be good. All right. So mine, just a little different here.
Ooh.
I know you're not a fan. I still love Jordan Tyson, even with the injury concern. Obviously, everybody that follows this show knows that I'm definitely would rather have Carnell Tate. Every single mock draft that I did 4 of them today. Every one of them, Carnell Tate was gone before 6. Different teams, but it is what it is. I think Jordan Tyson has an extremely high ceiling. The injury history is a concern for me. A lot of the trade down options I didn't like that I was offered when I played around with it today. Obviously, that doesn't mean that that's going to happen in real life with the Browns, but like you said, I don't really want to go lower than 12. I don't even really want to go to 12. I would rather stay in the top 10. But if it works out this way, I would be happy to still have Jordan Tyson. And I think the biggest reason why I would still focus on Jordan Tyson is, we need a number 1 wide receiver badly. Obviously, we all know that. And there's plenty of tackles. There's plenty of offensive linemen that we can continue to grab in the later picks that are still, there's a decent caliber level of player, right? But the top 3 wide receivers are the top 3, and then there's a huge fall off, in my opinion. So, not to say that any of the other wide receivers I don't like, because I do like a lot of them, but I just think it's Tyson, Lemon, Tate, and then a pretty significant fall off. So after that, we've got 24. We end up with Monroe Freeling. We've talked about him on this show several times. Would love to have him at tackle. Obviously, I think I would like to see him develop a little bit first. So I'm kind of hoping that somehow miraculously DeJuan Jones is able to play left tackle for a little while, as he can maybe kind of like learn the NFL a bit. I don't know if that's realistic or not, or if they would even have the patience to or not. I'm laughing at the comments here. Is this in regards to Drew Aller? So Tyson, I think Mike says Tyson, I think, will fall till 24 because of the injury history. I mean, it's possible. I have seen it happen in some mocks, but I just don't think that's realistic. Maybe it's just me. But then after Monroe Freeling, again, we've talked about him plenty. No need to drag on too much, right? He's a true left tackle. He had the RAS score that just historically showed out this year. At pick number 39,
I would take Freeling at 6.
Yeah, I would too. I would have no problem with that. So picking him up at 24 would be awesome. 39, I've got Chase Pistonis, guard out of A&M. He is like a powerful interior lineman, very strong, elite run blocking ability. Somebody who I think George Warhop could really mold into, a really great player for a long, long time in this league. So I would love to see him there. This one, I kind of felt like I was getting what I was trying to do was not stay in the mindset of getting a lot of offensive linemen because of all the signings that we've just made. But the way that this draft just fell, it was like it just kept being the best player available by a long shot. Jennings Dunker, which I don't think is any chance that he's going to make it to 70.
If he makes it to 70, I'm running to that podium. I mean, that dude can play every position on the line. Yeah. Me and Big Mike over there at the Man Cave nicknamed, and we're working on trademarking this nickname. It's called the Ginger Plow.
Yeah. So again, a guy we've talked about on this show several times. I mean, he's just anybody who saw any highlights from the Senior Bowl, he is just a man beast. Will Lee, the third cornerback, for excuse me, another Texas A&M player. Obviously, I really like Texas A&M this year, but he's not the ideal cornerback that I want. I want to get somebody who can take over for Harden in the slot right away. This guy does not fit that mold. He's another long, athletic corner, excels in press coverage. So, I mean, he'd be more of a rotational guy, kind of maybe could form into a replacement for Denzel down the line if we hit gold here at pick 107. Again, I'm not saying that will happen, but I just, again, the way the board fell, it's hard to kind of walk through this as you just see 8 picks on the board, but he was by and far, I think, the best player that was available at 107. Moving on to Bud Clark, ball hawking safety with strong instincts, playmaking ability. Again, I think it's much like the safety you mentioned out of Indiana, like potential for the turnovers and just adding versatility to the backfield. I think he would be a great addition. Cyrus Allen out of Cincinnati, another speedy vertical threat. Probably, again, not the perfect fit, but I mean, you're kind of at this point taking shots. I would love to see it. Then Drew Aller, everybody knows how much I love me some Drew Aller. If he's available in the 6th round, I mean, hell, we just wasted a 3rd round pick last year, a top 100 pick on Dylan Gabriel, who everybody knew was terrible. Drew Aller was projected to be one of the top 3 picks. They said if he would have come out last year, he would have gone in the 1st round. I'm not buying that all of a sudden he stinks. Yeah, his footwork is not the greatest, but if he's available in the 6th round, that's a freebie in my opinion. And then Tristan Lay, offensive lineman out of Clemson, another guy who, much like Dunker, is versatile, can play tackle, guard, and more of a versatile, flexible position for the Browns. So again, not ideal, right? But this is one of the ways that it could go, right? And even though we signed all those players in free agency to our offensive line, it doesn't mean that they're not going to continue to get older, just like we've saw before our eyes over the last few years, and we're going to need to replace them anyway. So,
young guys on rookie contracts never hurt.
No, and you guys all keep telling me best player available, best player available, best player available. That's kind of what I did here for the most part. This was pretty much my best player available, in my opinion, draft here. So, let's move on to do. You want to do a live mock?
Why not? Let's go.
I think we can try and steal a page from the first first draft guys and try and do a speedy mock draft. This is just you and me. I think we could hammer it out pretty quick. You want me to try and remove that? There you go. Cool. So we will do now our traditional. This is the first time we've done it, just the two of us, I think, since week 1, right?
Yes.
So we will we'll do a 1st round mock. We talked about possibly doing trades, but in all reality, we're the GM of 16 teams each, so it's gonna be kind of hard.
Well, we could take a look at the Browns.
Sure, that would be let's do that. Trades.
You want to start, or you want me to start, or do you want to just talk each other through this?
No, let's. You haven't got to draft for the Browns much, so why don't you start? Or sorry, I'll start, and then that way you get the even picks.
Awesome.
But what sucks, Fatty? What are you mad about in the chat here? You mad about Jennings Dunker? I know you're not mad about Jennings Dunker. All right, so first pick on the board. You know what? I'm going to make this interesting. We don't have enough. We don't have enough wildness. Are you going to be posting this to the?
Oh, I'm going to save this one.
You're going to save it? Are you going to be posting it on our network though for our name to be on it? Yeah. All right, then I can't do it. I was going to go Ty Simpson just to have some fun, but if we do that and post it on the network, everybody's going to stop following us. So we're not going to do that. We're going to stick with the pick that everybody knows. Everybody already knows is going to be Fernando Mendoza. So go ahead. You back on the clock at 2.
With the Jets, I think this is going to be a no-brainer. You can't pass up on Arvel Reese.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Dude, I think I got this funny feeling that David Bailey they're gonna put up more premium on that position. My mock is horrible, he says. Thank God I have a day job. Wow, we're bringing in the heat here. My mock is horrible. Thank God I have a day job. It doesn't matter. We're heading to the playoffs anyway, Fatty. Arizona is on the clock at 3, and there's all kind of rumors going around. Jordan Tice, offensive tackle, Caleb Downs, David Bailey, Carnell Tate, Love, right? Everybody's in the mix here. I'm gonna go. Like I said, if David Bailey is still here, I'm going David Bailey, baby. Best edge rusher in the draft, and I wouldn't pass up on him if I was the Arizona Cardinals, who certainly have a need there. So what do you got at 4?
Well, Titans, they obviously need some defensive help, but they also need help on the offensive side of the ball. So I'm going to give them Carnell Tate. Kind of setting myself up for the Browns picks.
You just want to do a trade down, don't you? All right. So the Giants then would be on the clock at pick number 5. I'm still circling around the Caleb Downs to the Giants thing. I don't know why that's sticking in my head, but I'm not going to do that today. We've already done that one. I am going to go with Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State. I'm going to just say that with the combine performance and the star-studded performance, and last time we had Sonny Styles going to like 19, almost everybody bit our head off. So we're going to go Sonny Styles.
In our defense, that was the day before he blew up at the combine. So
when everybody else had him going much later than the time.
Yeah, everyone else had him going towards the end of the first round, and then mysteriously has an amazing combine, and then our 19th pick was insane. For the Browns here,
Cleveland's on the clock.
Cleveland is on the clock. Let's see what trade options they're throwing at us.
What do we got?
Dropping down to 15, so giving up 6 for 15, 46, and 116 to the Buccaneers. Giving up 6 and 107 to the Saints for 873 and 150. I'd almost consider that one. Minnesota 6 for 18, 49 and 82. 3 top 100 picks. I don't know. What are you thinking?
To go down 12 spots, that's not enough for me.
I'm talking about the Saints.
The Saints? I mean, so let's see here. So you're moving up. We're moving down 2 spots and then basically moving up. I mean, yeah, sure. I would entertain that. I probably wouldn't do it in the end, but I mean, we can say yes for this. If you're down for it. I mean, you're the GM of the Saints, so.
So now I got to make a pick for the Saints here. So what did they move up for? Well, I am going to give them a Jeremiah Love.
Even with them signing, didn't they just sign ETN?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I would say he's definitely like a top. Well, he might be the best talent in the whole draft. So that's not too crazy, I don't think. So then we go on to. Sorry here. So we go on to the Washington Commanders are on the clock at 7. Looks like we got Ruben Bain, Myoga, Caleb Downs, Spencer Fano, Delane, and Washington. Can't think of any big moves that they made in the free agent market.
They've signed a few edge rushers.
Okay, a few edge rushers. So we'll kind of take Ruben Bain off the off the market here for them then? Let me think here. I'm going to go Caleb Downs.
Okay.
I know they need help at safety and basically defense in general. So I can't imagine Caleb Downs goes too much further later than that. So, we're gonna double trade. What do we
No,
got?
I was just looking. Nothing good. Way too far.
So Browns are
So
back on the clock. What are you thinking here? If you're at pick 8,
at 8 here, I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna take a chance of missing out on our potential left tackle of the future. I'm gonna go Monroe Freeling here.
okay,
I know it's per this site, it's a little early, but I would take him at 6. So I have no problem taking him at 8.
yeah, for sure. And you got another. What, you moved up like 40 spots with the one pick, so that's all right. I mean, obviously, we'd probably much rather have a first round pick next year, but you take what you can get, and those picks next year are like treasure coves, apparently. So that takes us to number 9. Kansas City is on the clock. Man, could they use help at the defensive line? They did
Offensive
just
line.
offensive line. They did just sign a running back in free agency. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right
Walker.
now. Yeah, oh yeah, Walker from the Seattle Seahawks, who just was the MVP of the Super Bowl. So highly doubt Jordan Love's not even available, so that doesn't even matter. Never mind. So I'm kind of between. I don't know. I'm between Fano, Myoga, and Bain here. If I am the Kansas City Chiefs, I am going to go with. Man, this is a little tougher than I thought it was going to be. I'll just go with Myoga. Whether he ends up being a guard or a tackle, I think that he is, by and large, the best talent at the offensive line position in the draft. So then we move on to the Bengals. What are you thinking here if you're the Bengals?
So the
Who just lost
Bengals.
Trey Hendrickson.
I mean, I'm going to click this button real quick. I'm going to get them Ruben Bain.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there.
I know your buddy's going to be upset that Caleb Downs didn't fall this low, but
I think most mocks are Caleb Downs is not going that low anyway. So here we have the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, they signed Malik Willis. Outside of that, I mean, they do need some tackle help, but they also need help all over the defense. I think one of their biggest concerns is going to be cornerback. And I think McCoy is the pick for the Dolphins. I'm going to go McCoy over Delane. We typically do Delane over McCoy, but I'm going to say they take a swing on him. So what do you got for the Dallas Cowboys at 12?
They need help with defense, obviously, to keep Dak happy because dude can score 40 points in a game and still lose. So I'm going to take the other cornerback off the board here and take Delane.
Smart move for the Cowboys. Then we move on to the Rams, who
their only pick now in the first round.
Right. They traded that number 29 pick for a cornerback and then signed him to like a 4-year deal, all kinds of money.
And then signed another cornerback.
So I am thinking here, I'm thinking Mekhi Lemon all day. That just seems like a Sean McVay pick. Sean McVay, I think, would be the perfect coach for Lemon to get him involved and be an even better wide receiver than some of the other ones we've seen. So that takes us to 14, who's now again the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm gonna. This is a tough one. They do have Mark Andrews. They lost Isaiah Likely. They need help on the offensive line. They just signed Trey Hendrickson.
They do need a kicker, it says, according to this site.
Yeah, sure. Let's look at that. I think I'm going to give them Ione, the inside offensive lineman out of Penn State. He's
I hate it.
if he wasn't an inside offensive lineman, he'd be a top 5 pick probably in this draft if he was a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give him to the Ravens. Unfortunately,
I was going to say. I mean, I told you this earlier this week. I wouldn't be mad if Ione was or Iona was picked with the Browns at 6 or 8 or whatever. I would be happy with that actually. Which is crazy to some people because of the position he plays, but he ends up being a 5-time Pro Bowler or whatever, Hall of Fame guard. It's not going to matter. It takes us to 15. That's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They just lost Mike Evans.
They did lose Mike Evans, but they've still got Ibuka. They've still got Godwin.
For 3 games.
What do you mean?
He's going to get hurt.
Oh, I was like, did I miss something?
No, he's just going to get hurt.
Okay. So, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Peter Woods here, defensive lineman out of Clemson. That sounds like a Todd Bowles pick to me, and I know they need help on the interior line. So, what say you for the pick number 16 with the Jets? The Jettas.
So they took Arvell Reese at 2. They need wide receiver help, safety help, defensive line help. They do need quarterback, but I think it's a little early. I'm actually going to make a reach here.
Okay.
And I'm going to take McNeil Warren, the safety out of Toledo.
Okay. Does sound like a Jets thing to do. I was seeing him available in like every mock that I did today, by the way, in like the second round, and I was like, steal.
I took him like 9 times in the second round today.
Lions. So I think this one will be an easy one. They need offensive line help. Spencer Fano, I think, is the best offensive lineman available at this point in this draft. There you go. That's a no-brainer. They love to run the ball. I think it's a perfect fit if that is how it works out. What do you say for the Vikings at 18? You know what I would love to do if I'm the Vikings? So one of these picks is to draft Ty Simpson.
Well, Kyler Murray's in Minnesota right now.
I don't have any faith in Kyler Murray.
So they need cornerback help, some offensive line help, safety, running back, defensive line, and tight end. I think I'm going to throw another cornerback in here and give them Terrell out of Clemson.
Okay.
Help secure that secondary for him.
Okay. I, with the 19th pick, am going to go with an edge rusher. I think that is probably the biggest need, but it's not going to be one of the ones that's the top of this one. It's going to be my guy who I'll just keep doing it all year long and then hope that I'm right. But if he goes in the second round, I'll be sad to see him fall live.
So we're back onto the Cowboys. We took cornerback with the last pick. They need linebacker help. They need edge rushers. I think they just traded an edge rusher and a linebacker today.
Okay.
I don't know. My kids were climbing on me when I was trying to read it, so I had a hard time looking at that one.
It's so hard to keep up with free agency when you're trying to follow all 32 teams.
Right. So then I'm gonna I think I am going to give them Caleb Banks, the defensive line. No, I lied. I completely lied on that one. Where is he? I'm going to give him C.J. Allen, linebacker out of Georgia.
Yep. I love that. He's another one that if somehow he makes it to 39, it made it really hard for me to not pick him at 39. I was like, we don't need a linebacker, but I'm like, he's so good. He makes it to 39. All right, so the Stillers, the Yinzers, their needs, quarterback. I've seen a lot of people mock Ty Simpson here. If I'm them, I wouldn't do that. I mean, right here, it says they need cornerback help, wide receiver. I don't think they're going to go wide receiver with just signing Pittman. Interior line, what does it say? Safety,
Linebacker and defensive line.
If I'm the Steelers, what am I doing?
Best player available.
Nah.
That's what they always do.
I think if I'm the Steelers here, I'm going Akeem Messidor. I don't personally have a whole lot of faith in him, but everybody that knows a lot more about football than I do are really high on him. So I'm going to say they go Akeem Messidor with both TJ Watt and Cam Hayward being on the deep line. So what about 22 with the Chargers?
Let's see here. Chargers, their biggest need is offensive line. There's no real offensive lineman within grasp here. There's a couple players that could potentially move to the guard position. Caden Proctor being one of them, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They also need edge help and cornerback help. I think this would be a great spot for Cassius Howe to come off the board.
Ooh. Okay. Love it.
He's my Zion this year.
Okay. I love me some Cassius Howell. I told you I'm high on a lot of the Texas A&M players. So on the defensive side of the ball, I just love what they did all year. So that takes us to 23, which is the Eagles. Man, and Kenyon Sadiq is still sitting there. I am like seriously contemplating here. I'm just not a big fan of Keldrick Falk. I don't think Caleb Banks is actually going to get drafted in the first round. Same thing with Thieneman. I don't see it. Proctor, nah. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna make this really hard on you for the Browns. I want to make you think. So yeah, I'll give me Kenyon Sadiq with the Eagles there. I think that would be a nice thing for what's his name? They don't have enough targets at with Smith and Saquon and AJ Brown.
You didn't make it too hard on me.
Whoa, Chris Brazzle!
I am taking Chris Brazzle.
Whoa!
He has moved way up on my boards.
Whoa!
He is
over Denzel Boston.
Yes.
And Jordan Tyson.
Yes.
What? Oh my gosh, you're crazy.
I'm torn between him and Omar Cooper.
So on your board now, is this just for the Browns, or are you saying for wide receivers?
Wide receivers in general.
Okay. All right. Interesting. That is interesting. Chicago Bears. Well, they just signed Jed Wills, so they filled all their holes.
Their center just retired randomly at 27 years old.
Yeah. Man, you know what? I'm thinking maybe this would be a good spot for TJ Parker to go, actually. Yeah, give me TJ Parker, edge out of Clemson. Again, I'm like somehow molded into this mindset of like all these edge rushers are going to be a high priority this year. I don't know why.
Deep class.
It is deep. Yeah.
I am gonna click on the Jordan Tyson pick now. I'm gonna give him to the Bills. Hopefully, he stays injury free and is able to help that team actually catch some balls and actually produce in the playoffs.
Okay. Then the 27th pick with the 49ers, I think this is going to be tough for them. I think if this is the case and Caleb Lomu, Denzel Boston, and Conception are on the
They
board.
just signed Mike Evans.
Well, right, but they also just released, I believe, Ayuk.
He isn't released yet, but he's going to be.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. However you want to say that. And Mike Evans is just, what was that? Was that a 1 year, 20 million? If these three guys are on the board, man, but they're also trying to compete. Yeah, let's go Caden Proctor. Trent Williams isn't getting any younger. So let's do that. What the hell? So that takes us to 28 with the Houston Texans.
So with Houston, they need offensive line help in the worst way. So I think Lomu is finally coming off the board here. I don't see him actually lasting this long in the draft, but we will see. If he's there at the Texans pick, they're going to run to the podium.
Yeah. Let's see. So, and this is pick number 29. So this is the first time we've had this. Who did I grab with the first pick, with the number 9 pick with the Chiefs? We had Myoga. Okay. So there, or Maui Noah is the correct way to pronounce it. I'm just gonna keep reading it wrong all the damn day long. You know what? Even though I'm not a fan, again, this is a consensus pick. I'm gonna go Keldrick Falk, edge rusher out of Auburn. I think they could definitely use some help on the defensive line, maybe even more than the offensive line. So that's what I would do if I was there.
Okay. Denver, they need any and all weapons they can get for Bo Nix at this point. So I am actually going to throw Omar Cooper to the Denver Broncos here at 30.
Okay.
Which means Denzel Boston is still on the board.
And who did the Patriots just sign a wide receiver? I feel like they just spent big money on a wide receiver. Am I wrong? Even so, I would take Denzel Boston if there's no way that he makes it to 31 in my opinion. So I would love to have him with his big body and catch radius with Drake May throwing 50-50 balls. Give it to me. Last one.
So, well, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think I'm going to take the other Notre Dame running back here.
Oh, so you're coming around to my side, the dark side, huh?
They just lost Walker. What's his name? Who knows when oh God, why am I not remembering his name? He got hurt in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know exactly who has him in our fantasy leagues, and I can't remember his name. Yeah, the other running back for the Seattle Seahawks. He's still injured. He just got injured, yeah, so he'll probably be out. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think this is too crazy. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff. I mean, this is wild to think. Like, if you compare whatever ends up being our last mock draft to our first one, I would love to see just the sheer difference. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. How much things change, and honestly, I think it's funny because, like, normally they talk about it, and it's like it doesn't. The combine doesn't change a whole lot, but maybe we just get more information. I don't know.
I think it's more information. We're more familiar with the players. Free agency changes a lot of stuff, obviously.
Sure.
I'm actually trying to see if I have our first mock draft, but it's not that the information or the players change so much. It's more of a their true potential comes out. The team's actual needs when it comes to the draft are actually more in our face, I guess is the easiest way to put it. I mean, a lot of stuff has changed since, I don't even remember, what was it, January we did our first mock draft?
Yep.
Oh, no.
Yep.
The whole screen just went blank.
That's all right. I can still see it. We're still good. We can close her out here. So, yeah, no, I want to just say, before we head out here, thank you to everybody for jumping in. Please like, subscribe to the network. Follow us on our wonderful TikTok, Twitter pages, what have you. Everything you guys do helps us out in the grand scheme to help reach other people. It's been a lot of fun doing these mock drafts. I think we've got two more shows for you at least. So we'll get one more guest in here. Next time is going to be a Cowboys fan. We'll get the Cowboys perspective. And then after that, we're keeping our fingers crossed. We're going to try and do a big blowout show for our last one right before the actual draft happens the following week. So, Matt, anything you want to say before we close her out, baby?
Are we leaving the suspense, or are we making the announcement?
No, we're leaving it suspense. Fatty wants to make the announcement on Friday, so we're.
I'll let Fatty do the thing. It's his network. I'm honestly surprised more didn't happen today after 4:00. When the actual season went live. I figured we'd have a repeat of Monday with people coming off the board all the time, but I know why. People pretty much got their big targets now. Now they're working out the fine print. There are still some wide receivers, that lower level wide receivers that I wouldn't mind the Browns picking up at least one of them to help, like a Keenan Allen or somebody like that. Just somebody we can get cheap that's pretty much just the father figure in the wide receiver room, because our wide receiver room is going to be young. Yep. Obviously, if Walker keeps floating through this day by day, his price might be coming down. So maybe we can afford him from Green Bay. Then we won't be drafting a left tackle. We might not even need an offensive lineman in the first round at that point.
Maybe not. Wouldn't be a bad idea to grab one, though.
Then we can do your least favorite thing in the world and go best player available at 6.
I told you earlier, I've actually come around on this now that they've filled 3 of the offensive linemen in free agency. I'm okay. I'm still not happy with it, but I'm okay with it. So we'll see. If
I was making the pick, I'm not going to be picking a defensive player at 6. But I'm to the point with free agency, what we've done so far, that if at 6 they take a Sonny Styles, somehow Arvell Reese drops, Caleb Downs, I'm not going to be mad. I know I just named 3 Ohio State players there, but there's a few other there on the board, like a Ruben Bain. Can you imagine Ruben Bain on the other side of Myles Garrett?
I'd rather see David Bailey, but yeah, no, I can.
I mean, you're not wrong, but let's be honest. David Bailey's not dropping to 6.
Maybe he does.
Maybe he does.
Never know. All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Factory of Mock Drafts. We appreciate you all. Check us out in a couple weeks. Have a good night.